Oh my god, that gorilla's coming for me! Ah! Oh my god, that gorilla's coming for me! Ah! Oh my god, that gorilla's coming for me! Ah!
Features that Google adds that I really like is related to phone calls. So we have hold for me, direct my call screening, and a few others. And so starting off with an outgoing call, if you call some business and they have a whole list of different things like press 1 for this, blah, 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 and it takes like several minutes to go through that. I swear it's forever. This has direct my call, which Google already knows what those options are before you even make the call. And so while they're like the robot's reading through press 1 for whatever, Google shows you all of the options. You can tap on that and it saves so much time. And the second thing is hold for me. So if you're calling the IRS and you're sitting there, you're waiting forever, 1 hour of hold music, like nobody wants to listen to that. So Google has a feature called hold for me where it'll just stay on hold, your phone's totally silent, and when somebody starts talking, your phone will ring and you can pick it up. It's so amazing. I love having that. And then the third suite of features that I really like here is related to making photos better and easier. So we'll talk a lot about the cameras, of course, but Google has some really cool features in here like Magic Eraser, which can literally just make things disappear behind you. It's so easy to do that on the Pixel. We also have Face Unblur, so it takes a bunch of photos and really does a good job of unblurring photos. And on the other hand, we have motion blurs. But getting over to the iPhone, there's some really big features that I love about the iPhone 14 Pro. Starting off with MagSafe. This is by far my favorite feature and the one that I am going to miss the most when leaving the iPhone. So MagSafe just obviously is a magnet on the back that also allows you to wirelessly charge. And so I never ever have to worry about my battery life on my iPhone because it's just always charging. Like when I'm at my desk, it's sitting on a charging stand. When I get in my car, boom, I slap this on the dashboard. It's sticking there magnetically. It's charging. I'm ready to go. I love having that. And of course, there are like wireless charging stands for a Pixel, but it just doesn't compete with MagSafe in my opinion. The second one is Dynamic Island. I know a lot of people out there are like, oh, Dynamic Island, not that great, blah, blah, blah. It's great. It's really a nice thing to have. I think it's a great use of the software because it's a great way to switch between apps and see like timers and music and other important things on the top of your phone. Granted, like the little pill-shaped cutout is distracting when you're watching media. I'll talk more about that when I talk about the displays. But the third thing with Apple is, I hate to say this, but it's the ecosystem. And I'm not going to dive into iMessage and FaceTime because I don't think those are actually that big of a deal for me. What I do kind of have a problem with is the ecosystem sucks you in because you only need one really good device, right? Like it's easy to switch AirPods. There's plenty of other great earbuds. But for me, the one that gets me is the lap. Because I'm stuck with the MacBook Pro, like switching photos from my Pixel to my MacBook is a huge headache. I have to use like Android file transfer, which is like this app built like 10 years ago. And then on the flip side, the iPhone can just airdrop things. Regardless, I am switching over to Pixel. I'm gonna make it work. Now, getting into the next category here, let's talk about the design with these. These obviously have a totally different approach to a phone while still being a totally basic glass slab. But I'll explain what I mean by that. So, of course, the iPhone is very boxy. I like that because not only do we have the matte back and the boxy sides that make it extremely grippable without any need for a case, whereas on the Pixel, it is rounded on the edges, so it feels a little bit slippery there, and on the back as well, it can be very slick. The one thing that is a benefit of it being rounder, though, is that it does look and feel slimmer, as opposed to the iPhone. The sharper edges make it feel boxier and bigger. The aesthetics with these, I really like the colors of the iPhone. Like if I can get it right, it really looks purple in some lighting, but in other lighting, it looks more of like a darker kind of almost black. And I really like the gold one as well. So the colors on the iPhone, the matte finish, fantastic job there. And I love the boxy look, but but the camera bump is absolutely massive this year. And as far as camera bumps go, I think Pixel did it best with this little bar. I think that looks so much nicer. It's really a clean and pretty iconic look already. But flipping over to the front, this is where you have a pretty big difference between these phones. The Pixel obviously has a little camera on the top, but it's a really, really tiny hole punch where you're getting a much larger pill shape on the iPhone. And so with that large pill shape, when you're watching media, it kind of blocks, like it's a little bit annoying. It cuts out some of your media viewing real estate there. And on top of that, you have very, very rounded corners. So I find that the boxier design of the Pixel just gives you a much better media viewing experience. They both have really good color. They both now have always on displays, although the always on display is very, very different on these. Where you can see on the iPhone, you're getting a lot of color in there. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but the Pixel does a really good job of using very, very little power, so it's extremely dark.